Hey guys, this is Comic Uno, and today I'm doing a review for The Flash. So let's start talking about this episode. Here we get to see Flash continues not to have his abilities. So our big villain in this episode is Rupture, who's actually from the last Vibe series, which is really good. It's very short. It was a short-lived comic. It's about 10 issues, written by Sterling Gates, who right now writes The Adventures of Supergirl. Really good book. It's a very new book. It's part of the New 52. So now they actually added that character to the mythos of the television show, where it's Cisco's brother, which is like the comics, but a little different here because it's the Earth 2 version of Dante, who is Cisco's brother. And with this story, we get to see Cisco and Dante kind of reconnect because, as we saw in Season 1, with the one appearance we saw with Dante, they weren't very close, and that continues in this episode, and that villain helps Cisco and Dante realize, oh my god, we kind of have to see what we have here, you know, we are brothers and we're lucky to have each other. So that was a really good moment. And then you have more Zoom being in Earth 1, just teaming up with Rupture. He doesn't have a huge place in this episode. And Caitlin, once again, just being kidnapped and not doing much. Another character who probably didn't have to be on Earth 1, but just plot reasons was there. But the big, obviously, thing that happens here, well, first of all, a big kind of romance thing that happens is Iris admits her feelings to Barry, and Barry's like, why are you telling me this when I'm trying to decide about the particle accelerator? And then Iris like, I just want you to know that you don't have to be the Flash. I still, you know, I don't want to say love you because she didn't say that, but I still care for you, and I want to see where these feelings go. So that's kind of a cliffhanger we're left on, because in the end of the episode, we see that Barry doesn't make the decision to go into the particle accelerator. And I'm just going to say throughout the whole episode, because Jesse and Wally are stuck in a room the whole episode, and there's obviously been a lot of references to Jesse and Wally's comic book counterparts. I am a huge Jessie Quick fan, and ever since she was announced to be on this show, I'm like, Jessie Quick, when's she getting her Speed Force? When's she getting her Speed Force? I mean, same for Wally, too. Honestly, I didn't expect him to get his Speed Force this season, but at the same time, once you got the announcement about Zoom, you're like, alright, there has to be more than one speedster on this show if you have a character like Zoom who steals people's Speed Force. So in this episode, they're locked in a room, and I'm like, there must be a reason this is happening. They're getting their Speed Force tonight. And I will say, it's pretty much 99% they got their Speed Force tonight. So when Barry's in the particle accelerator, it looks like he's dead. Really, what it seems is that he's not in another Earth. I think he's in the Speed Force itself. That's my guess. That's what's going on. They're exploring more of the idea of the Speed Force, which is great. And then we see that Jesse and Wally are not in a great place during this particle accelerator explosion. They have some blasts kind of go into them, and they are unconscious. But I kind of wish they showed like some Speed Force on them, but like I said, it's 99% sure they got the Speed Force, which I'll talk about. I'm going to talk about Wally and Jesse, because that's like the moment I love the most and the moment I've been waiting for, and I can't wait, because with next episode, I don't know how much of Barry we're really going to get. We're just going to see this alternate Speed Force or universe Barry Allen to try to get out of that situation. But you're going to have to deal with the aftermath of Jesse and Wally also. So maybe as we don't have a speedster like Barry in the episode, will they kind of discover more for Wally and Jesse's powers? And what I really like about them having their powers together is that they can discover their abilities together. They're not alone on this journey. So I'm really liking that idea. I'm excited to see what they do with that relationship. They already have really good chemistry. Not saying romantic chemistry, but if they want to go that route, I'm cool with that too. But just friendship. I thought they did it, even though they didn't have like a lot of scenes in this episode, I like their back and forth in this episode. And like I said, it's going to be interesting to see how they interact with each other, with both of them being new speedsters at the same time. So very excited for that. And also it's interesting because Jesse and Wally kind of have this similar situation with their fathers. You know, you have this dynamic between their fathers this whole season, like Joe and Wally kind of reconnecting, and we'll even say Jesse and Harry reconnecting in a way, because they're on a different Earth, and Jesse finds out a little bit more about her father. So I think there's a lot of excitement to come for these two characters, and that was the best part of the episode. Now, the second best part, obviously, is the big cliffhanger of Barry disappearing, and it was amazing. Now, going in towards the negative of the episode, which, you know, like I said, I enjoyed the Rupture villain arc. It meant something for Cisco's character. Cisco was, you know, A-game here. Really good character, and Dante was too. Had a good story. Iris's subplot with the romance, I don't know if it really fit here. As much as I want to see that plot progress and see Iris do more, it was kind of weird how they fit it here. And it just kind of added for more drama that I don't know was necessarily needed in this episode. Another thing I really didn't like about this episode was Caitlin and Barry's father. Let's start with Barry's father, because I think that was my biggest problem. Where was he in this episode? I mean, I understand it was more of like, hey, Barry, can't do this. But honestly, Joe could have played that part also, which he kind of did. So I feel like having Barry's father was really unnecessary. As much as I do like the character, I feel like they don't really know what to do with him ever since season 1. And that's why they're like, oh, let's live in a log cabin. No, Barry needs to visit him and bring him to Star Labs for some reason. And then my other complaint was about Caitlin. I just feel like this is another character they don't know what to do with. It seemed they had one plan in season 1 with Killer Frost. I think she became too likable as a good person, and now you're kind of stuck where Caitlin's just as damsel in distress. Even when she does something right here, she's still like in constraints with Zoom, and it doesn't really seem like her character story. It just seems like she has to be in that place and time because of the plot, because it's necessary, not really because of the character. But I will say there's a glimmer of hope when we get to see Zoom talking to Caitlin, saying there is this darker place in you, not just her to Caitlin, but also you. And we've seen glimmers of that in this episode, and also the episode she teams up with Killer Frost. So hopefully this means something. I don't want her to become a complete villain, because we already saw that with Killer Frost, but to have a darker side, because Flash is such a light show, it'd be interesting to kind of have a darker hero on the team. Not saying she'd be a villain, but maybe just having more of a complicated emotional spectrum for herself. So, would like to see more with Caitlin, because she has not been treated so well this season. But yeah, overall, I will say it takes a while to get to the end. There's some fun parts throughout, but I feel like they're like prolonging for time in the episode. But then when you get to those last 10 minutes, you're like, okay, this is why I love Flash, this is amazing, and I can't wait for next episode. Why do I have to wait a week? I just want to see Wally and Jesse as, you know, Speed Force, teammates here. So, Flash family, and I want to see what happens to Barry. So, that's my thoughts. Let me know in the comments below, what did you think of the episode? This is Comic Uno. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Don't forget to like my Facebook page. Also, description below, there are links for my comic book, Like Father, Like Daughter, and don't forget to like the Facebook page of Like Father, Like Daughter. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.